Hi.
Hello, how are
My
you?
good. My camera doesn't work, so it's just a butterfly.
Okay, well, that's a nice avatar, so that'll work.
I don't know how to get it to work. I spent some time trying to like download drivers and figure it out and fixed my privacy settings and still nothing. So that's too bad. But
Okay,
oh well.
well, this will work.
Yep. All right. So um
Okay, where's the rest of our group?
yeah, seriously. How do we
Yeah,
okay. Maybe we'll call them. I'll try calling.
all right, great. Here, do you want me to start calling people as well?
Sure. I'm gonna call Anissa, and you want to call Jerry? Ewing,
Yeah, yeah, I can see about calling today.
or we can just wait.
Well, I suppose we could wait for a few minutes. Sure,
Okay.
you
I
bet.
I didn't know that I didn't know that when you sent an invite, it called people, and I called everyone at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and so
Oh,
like
okay.
I just thought it sent it to their email, and so I had no idea. And then Diane was like, "Oh yeah, my computer started ringing," and I'm like, "Oh sorry."
Really, I didn't realize I didn't get a call, but okay.
Well, that's good. And well, yeah. What did you think of the study of the case study?
I thought it was pretty short, and it kind of made it
Harder.
a little more difficult to come up with um, ideas to cover the bullet points.
Yes. Hi, Dan.
Good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
We were just talking about the case study and how short it was. That it was harder to come up with things for 150 words per little bullet point. I was like, "Are you serious?" I don't even know what to say.
I couldn't either. So
Is either of you willing to write?
Well, I could see about being the secretary or the scribe. Um,
You
I I can't guarantee a great job. Actually, um, probably the best person because she's done it. I worked with her before. Would be Anissa.
Oh, Anissa? Okay, well, we'll see if she joins us.
nice way to volunteer, Anissa.
And
Yeah. If not, I can do it. But
Well, and or I could do it. I'm not good at it either, but you'd have to, give me time.
that's okay. What we could do is we could, I don't know, whoever is going to write, we could submit our like a little summary of what we think about it, and then you could just compile it, and then we wouldn't have to, one person would have to write all of it.
Right. Well, we were supposed to fill out that form, so we could all just email that to whoever is the scribe.
Yes,
yep.
that could
So
work. Do you think we should go over the same questions, or what do we do now?
What do we do? Yeah, we just go over the questions and get input from everybody. Typically.
Okay, same questions then. I just wasn't sure. So that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Let's see. Um, can either of you do a screen share since my camera doesn't work? If one of you are either of you allowed to screen share? I can't tell.
Screen
I
share.
don't have,
I mean,
I don't have that ability.
Okay, just checking. I have that ability, but my camera doesn't work. So otherwise, it would work out fine. Okay, let me see if I can pull up the questions. Push you down to a little.
Yeah, it doesn't give me any options to do anything.
Okay, that's fine.
I got a, let's see, screen share. I got a screen share here. Let's see, what can I do? Okay, let's see. If I hit screen share, what does it do? Anything? I got your.
Oh, yeah, we're getting your screen. Well, now I'm all big. Ew.
Okay.
I'm on my tablet, so I don't have the documents on my tablet. So.
Okay, I've got it pulled up right here.
Whew, that was interesting.
Now I've got like eternity on my.
Yeah.
That's lovely. That's coming, I think, from Robert.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry. I managed to hit. Let's see if I can get it back. There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. So it says to briefly summarize the case. Oh, hi, Anissa.
Anissa, hello.
Are you there? Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hi.
We were just talking about, Robert was just telling us how amazing you are at writing.
I volunteered you to be the scribe.
I wonder if you wanted to be the scribe, or we can all just email you our case study summaries, like our bullet points.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, me and Robert have been able to be on all of them together, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could, if you guys need me to. Let's see. Can you guys still see me if I do this?
You're there.
We can see you.
I'm still here? Okay, awesome. Yeah, because I have my paper pulled up on this computer, so I won't see you guys, but I could just type.
Okay, if you don't mind, if you would rather not, we can just designate Robert, and then you can just email him all of our things. Or Diane.
Okay, yeah, I can take notes, and then if everyone can send me what they have too to kind of fill in the gaps as we talk.
You bet.
Great.
I sent an email to Ewing Jerry, and so I sent a text as well, I believe. So I don't know. I guess we'll see if she joins us. Okay, so the first question is to summarize the case. Me and Robert were talking about how short it was. And
yes.
So I guess so. The little boy is standing in the same doorway his brother died in 4 years ago. Which is really sad. And then his father has a breakdown, has to have kidney surgery. Why? And his brother wants a gun to kill Israelis. And yes, they now have to be on support from their brother and international financial support.
Okay. It also mentions the sister or one of the daughters has fits of anger and really needs psychiatric care.
Yeah.
And one of the interesting things that it notes is that the families had Ahmed's photo digitally altered, so he's wearing a cap and gown for a college graduation that he'll never have.
Right.
I don't have anything different than what you guys have explained already.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
pretty simple as far as that's what's there.
Yeah.
What are some principles and concepts from the course that can be applied in offering help or direction for this family? What are some ideas of what you think they're going through?
Excuse me. Okay, I could go from if you want me to.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the meaning the family is given the son's death needs to be reframed. They need to give his death a meaning that'll help the family work together. They should use it as a catalyst to give the family a direction in which to go. Some examples of that might be that they use it as a catalyst to help the family find a way out of Gaza. That might not happen in the lifetime of the father, but it could become a long-term goal for the family to for the family to excuse me, let's try that again. It could be used to promote the education of the family members as a way of getting out of Gaza by providing them with education that allow them to function elsewhere. It could also be used as a way of honoring the brother by the family getting an education that they had hoped he would obtain.
Wonderful. Diane?
I just have, mine's really short. The stressor for the family starts with the war, and they progress through with a large pile of demands, from the daughter's anger issues to his own health issues. They've been using their problem-solving capabilities. They're not going to leave. They're not going to leave Gaza. They would have left already had they been able to, because they have family elsewhere. But they've used some problem-solving capabilities by going on assistance and asking for help from the extended family. But I really don't think that they're going to leave. People in those kind of situations, that's their home, and their only way of dealing with it is putting their little shrine together for their son, and they're probably never going to leave the country. So, but I'm not. You guys have to understand. This is really, I'm way out of my element in this class. I'm not a major in this. This was an elective for me. I wanted the family stressor. I wanted to be able to talk to my sister. That's why I took this class.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
What is your major, Diane?
I am a university studies major with an emphasis on entrepreneurship. So I'm a business major.
Oh,
so
this is a little different.
I am so out of my element at this point in this class.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to have coping skills.
I get most of the concepts, but a lot of the extra stuff, when we go into the deep dive, I am like, way out of my element.
Yeah, I feel like, even though it's my major, I feel like it's right over my head at times. Like, I don't know, I need a graph. I'm not getting this. So anyway, and Anissa?
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe I'm off here, but I feel like the stuff that's talked about is great. But I feel like it's more coping later in the, we talk about coping strategies, where, is this first part more about, taking models and certain things that we applied and how to apply them?
It's about principles and concepts. So I assume you could either pull coping strategies from it, or you could pull, or you could go ahead and use the models.
Okay, so I think if we use both of these listed that you guys talked about, listing specifics then of what it is, like what principle was it that you, to help them cope, and Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we need to list as an exact principle or concept from the course.
Okay, well, the principle I used would be reframing, which comes out of reframing, yeah, which comes out of the part about, what was that? It was from strengthening family resilience, I believe it was. That's where I believe it comes from. Yeah,
okay.
It does.
Awesome. Yeah, I think mentioning that would be good to know exactly where. Awesome.
And then also the optional reading we had on families. Family who lost what? There was an optional reading in this particular chapter, or this particular lesson. And the optional reading is a section on. Excuse me. The optional reading is a section on parents' experience and meaning construction of the loss of a child in a national terror attack. And and from that they talk about how families need to find meaning. Need to create meaning because of the loss. Let's see how specifically it says it here. Okay, both Harvey and Niemeyer claim that meaning reconstruction in response to loss becomes the central process in grieving. They maintain that there is no single truth or one reality in the grieving process. Rather, the reality and truth are created and invented by both individuals and collectives within a specific context. And so, in other words, a family who's in the grieving process is trying to create meaning out of the grief. And so, by reframing the meaning that this family is given to the death of the son, they could obtain a different meaning from it. They could obtain what if they, for instance, if they didn't use it as a way of getting themselves out of Gaza, they could use it as a way to for instance, get with Osama's brother, Allah, whatever his name is, and since he's in construction, and perhaps they could come up with some ways to build places for children in Gaza that would be safer in the case of attack. Or another thing they could do would be to what else did I put down here? Excuse me. They could perhaps work at some way to get the children out of Gaza into residential schools, perhaps on the West Bank or other Palestinian territory, so that they would be out of harm's way. They do it in the memory of the son who was killed.
Those are some great ideas. I really like those. I didn't read the additional reading yet, so that's awesome that you did. I have a few things as well. I was thinking about the FAR method would work, the adjustment and adaptation. I feel like they are stuck in the maladjustment, whereas it's become toxic, like it's not helping them they started out good, I think, by making a shrine and like giving, modifying his picture and, really honoring his memory. However, it seems like it's stopped them. And so I think being able to see that they can move on from this, like you said, reframing and using it for good. They did name their new son after him, but I do feel like that's under a relationship, a different question. But I do think that maybe the FAR method. What do you guys think?
If I could figure out or remember what the FAR method was, then
Yeah, it's like the adjuster adaptation something. And then I was thinking of maybe if they use this as if they knew about CBT, like cognitive behavioral therapy, and how they could reframe their thinking about the situation and about the stress, like the PTSD that the father is now experiencing. Like everything is now coming back to him, and he's reliving those memories. And the cognitive behavioral might really help, and maybe some meditation, mindfulness. With his family, they're living in fear. They might lose a kid any day. I mean, that would be really hard. And only if they're able to live each moment as more fully, it might really take your mind off the past.
okay.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I looked at the typology model.
Yeah, that's a good one.
For mine, trying to, I don't know if anyone else looked at that, but
That's where I pulled most
for
of
me-
my stuff.
oh, did you? Okay, awesome. Yeah, maybe you can have some insights then, because I'll share what for me, that one's fascinating to look at, and for me, hard to analyze the family type. But in that model, I just broke it down in each part, the stressor event being the air attack injuring the son, but then the vulnerability being that the prior stressors of having a son die in the same circumstances and the huge community strains of the area because of the air raids in the country. And but then the family types is where I didn't know how to break that down. So what I came up with was that their hardiness was high and their family coherence was low, which came up with a secure family according to the model. And the bonding is high with the family flexibility high, making a resilient family. But I kind of questioned the next ones of, it talks about family celebrations and family traditions. And I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts on that? To me, I kind of saw those both as low because of their circumstances. There's not a lot to celebrate right now for them. And and to make those family traditions because they're just going day by day based off what the country is going through. And so I had those as low, which makes it a situational family. So anyway, that was kind of interesting to analyze that. But I don't know if anybody had any other thoughts on that, of what types of families they were. But they also, then the family, though, their cognitive part of it is that, they're trying to put the past behind them. They're trying to move on, but the pileups, keep coming. And they're utilizing some resources of family, helping with the finances and also the government assistance, and trying to make a future for themselves by putting that past behind. But so that's what I came up with for the typology model.
That's
Yeah,
great.
and then they transfer back into exhaustion. They just go back into
Yeah.
the double X.
Yeah,
it's
yeah, and I
just
didn't do
another
that.
crisis,
I didn't
so
add that.
it's just another
Yeah,
crisis.
right. Yeah, and I
That's
just
where
this is
I
what I
was.
did the adjustment phase.
Yeah.
So I didn't go into the other. So that's great. Did you go more into the adapt?
I didn't get any further than that. So that it was.
Yeah, that's a good analysis. That's great. I think the only thing they're celebrating is their dead son's life.
Right.
Like his graduation or his graduation that he missed. Like they did put quite a bit of energy into him and reliving his memory and renaming their son. So I feel like that would maybe can be considered part of the celebration, but maybe not. Probably not, but it's just maybe their only way of honoring him. So I don't know. That's good. Are we ready to move on? Any more questions on that? Did I interrupt you, Anissa? Sorry.
Oh no, yeah, I'm done. You guys can look at that further when we send out this document, and just if you guys feel it differently, can look at that a little closer. But
yeah, that's a great. I like that how you analyze the topology. List relevant risks and dangers the family and its members face. Well, being bombed and dying.
I suppose that's one.
Yeah, that's one. That's my contribution for that.
The pure exhaustion of it. They're always going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
As long as they live in a war-torn country.
Okay. I think one of the dangers is that they won't get beyond the grief and anger they have about the death of Ahmed, and that could result in the son Abdul Kandar, I guess is Abdul Kandar, becoming an easy recruit for a terrorist organization like Hamas.
Oh,
possibly any of the other family members as well. The daughter, as it indicated, needed help, psychiatric help to overcome her bursts of anger so that she could function.
Also, the father's health. I think that's a concern as well. As he's had 2 kidney surgeries, and he seems to be in a lot of grief. And so, losing him emotionally seems like that's kind of happening, and that physically is, I think, if you were anything else was to happen, he might not survive very much longer, depending on what the problem with his kidneys are.
Yeah, obviously, the father's risk or the father's health would be a major risk factor, and the fact that the father can't support the family is another risk factor. That they're surviving on help from extended family and from international aid.
That's really good.
yeah, I think the danger too of the son that asks for a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Just the potential of that hatred and harboring more and more as he grows up.
Also, the son that was named after the deceased son, I think that there is a concern there, just whereas he has a lot to fulfill in his brother's place. A lot of expectations, probably just by having his name, and your brother that you're named after died, and we expect so much of you, and don't play in the doorway, like we can't lose you too. I don't know. I feel like a complex that could happen there. And then it doesn't really, I guess there's a concern with the little boy that got the shrapnel in his ribs and the punctured lung. So he might suffer some ill effects from there, but they didn't really mention the wife very much, did they? Did they even mention her?
No, didn't
Mm-mm.
at
No,
all.
I didn't even mention
The one I put was just staying in the maladjustment phase. So just, and like you said, Diane, like exhaustion. And then Robert, how you said, like if they don't move, I guess it could be an opportunity for them to move, but the risk is that they'll stay, or stay. The danger is that they'll stay. Should we go to the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
List relevant opportunities presented to this family as a result of this crisis. I put compassion for others. They have an opportunity to draw closer as a family, to really trust and lean on each other, and to build good memories with their children, and to model and teach civility instead of hate, and tolerance instead of, retaliation and revenge. But that does require a lot more, definitely, and intentional teaching, intentional changing of one's core values of thinking.
Okay.
Who wants to go? Anyone else have thoughts on that?
They just had an opportunity to reach out and ask for help from the extended family, which I don't think they do normally in that culture.
To help.
It brought them closer together as a family. And who knows what the wife issue is, because she wasn't mentioned. But it did make the father overprotective, so that might not have been such a good thing. But that's pretty much all I have.
Okay.
Robert, what you said earlier, under one
Yeah.
of the first questions about how they can build, and they can move, and they can, even if they have lived in his lifetime, the kids, and that sounded amazing. Do you have more?
Well, basically, that really, just being able to use it as a catalyst, the death of the son and brother, to use as a catalyst to help the family find direction in their life, help them to promote a particular direction in their life. Education for the family, as I already said. They could use the fact that they obviously appreciate education. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had the son's picture digitally modified so that he was graduating from college. So they could use that as a way of directing the kids by saying that becoming educated will honor the memory of your brother. It will be a tribute to your brother that getting an education that he never had a chance to get. And then doing other ways of honoring his memory by working to do things that will help other children to be safer, to be able to do things in their life, that kind of thing.
That's great. Anissa?
What's that?
Those are good. Mine are covered there. I really like that when you brought up Robert a lot. I didn't even think of that, of how he, the symbolism of them, putting him in a graduation cap and gown of the value of being educated as a family and what they learned from that. I think that's a really good one.
Yeah, I didn't think of that either. That's really great. I feel like that is something that could really boost that family out of their, out of their grief, or give them a purpose. That might really help. Any more thoughts on that?
Nope.
Recommended. Important relationship considerations.
I think a big one is the brother relationship. Those two brothers, the one, you could tell the weight he felt of caring for his brother, and he mentions in there it's hard for him to accept his brother's suffering.
Right.
All right.
I thought that was interesting too. Do you think that means, like, because he also lost a son in that and he's doing okay? He doesn't.
He didn't really lose a son. It said that his son was severely injured, I guess, or yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think that weight would be hard to carry as the brother.
Yeah.
And then also the brother that asked for a gun, he's got a lot of anger and hatred and grief going on. That should probably be.
Yeah, I thought the relationship between the father and that particular son needs to be, the father needs to carefully help that son and to direct him to help him to get away from the influences that are going to be in the village in Gaza. But he's going to have to keep that son away from Hamas and the other terrorist organizations that are in Gaza. He's going to have to give him direction, help to give him direction. And one of the ways I thought that could happen. Am I interrupting?
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm getting feedback here. I'm sorry. Anyway, one of the ways would be for the brother to offer the son a job in a construction company, as possible, to give the son something to do.
That's really
a good idea.
Okay.
I'm going to mute my microphone because it keeps flashing to me, and I don't feel like I'm making any noise, but I think it was giving you interference, Robert, and I didn't mean to. I wasn't talking or anything, but it just kept flashing over to me. So I'm going to try muting and see if that's better.
Okay, I'll unmute mine. I thought maybe it was my mic giving feedback. Anyway, other than, the brother finding ways, if the brother has a construction company, if he could find ways to help and employ the son, maybe even other members of the family if possible, so that they have something to do, particularly in in a place like Gaza. There's high unemployment because of limited opportunity and the fact that they're in a war zone, and so and of course that because there's high unemployment, that's a perfect situation for terrorist organizations to come in and bring particularly young men into the fold. And so, yeah, getting them involved, the kids particularly involved in as many other activities as they can, so that they are not going to come under the influence of problems in Gaza.
That's a good point. Thanks. Does anybody else have any relationship considerations?
I just have about the father, the son, father-son relationship with the son that was shot in the side. He's got this deep fear, and it's, you know, it could overshadow their relationship because of and then the daughter could be left behind, and that may be part of the reason she's got such anger issues, because now her father's more overprotective of the other son. So now she may not be getting any parental attention or so.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because they mention in there that sons are thought very highly of in the country.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that either, but that's a good point. Yeah, those are all really good points. Thank you. I hadn't thought of a lot of those. Can we move on?
Okay.
Recommended coping strategies.
I guess the coping strategies in the first part. Yeah, they just they need to reframe the son's death. They need to try to find ways to draw the family closer together. They need to see about using the resources they have, like their brother, to help them give purpose and direction to their family. Yeah.
I have that the family should discuss the loss of the first son and make sure the younger son understands that the fighting's over and they need to overcome the hatred from the other side and learn to move forward.
That's really good. And you know, the probably focus on the schooling would be a good, focusing on something good that's enhancing their growth. The boy said, or the paper said, that school started on Monday and the boy was really excited and he got chocolate. So that's pretty cool. So I do think helping one another, reaching out to neighbors, and maybe even finding a support group, a grief support group that's close, or counseling if that's available to them. But I do think building on the relationships, the family and the neighbors, and supporting each other that way would be a good coping strategy, and focusing on education and, like you said, moving forward.
Okay. Great.
I also thought of, concentrating on pointing out to this family the value of the family perspective versus the individual. And they really did that in there, and, maximizing on that to share that with them, and that this experience is shared by all the members. It's not an individual thing. And also the spiritual perspective that, brings meaning to all of it. The dad, mentions that God compensated us. And so there's that purpose that, you know, includes a really powerful sense of the sacred when you bring that perspective in.
Okay, that's great.
That was really good. Any other thoughts on that? The next one is recommendation to supporting involved parties. So I guess, I don't know, the counseling would probably go under this one instead of the coping strategies. But yeah, just focus, you know, yeah, like you said, I really liked the pulling in the spiritual because they do have a belief in God, and so they definitely can turn to Him and their scriptures and really try to find hope again.
That would be besides the brother helping the family that I've already talked about. Yeah, the religious community could reach out and help the family to deal with their loss, and of course, as the father said, in Gaza, it's common for families to have losses like that. So joining with other families to support one another would be another way that joining with other families that have had similar losses, that would be a way that they could obtain help from other individuals. In the optional reading, it talks about how a number of the Israeli families who had lost children to terrorists had got together and they supported one another.
I wonder if having everyone lose family members minimizes the pain that they're going through. Like, it doesn't, seeing other people go through it, nothing is special about your experience. So I wonder if that happens, you know, to where you feel like, you know, well, it's happening to everyone, I shouldn't feel this angry, or I shouldn't, you know, almost minimizing your grief that you're going through. Everyone has to go through their own grief process. It's an individual process, but as a community, you can still support one another and grieve and help one another through the process, I guess, and support each other. Look out for each other, that their kids don't join in with the problems. What do you think?
Yeah, I think those are good. I think it's really powerful to have other people. I think that one of joining with other families, you know, that have the similar losses, is really powerful. I have a good friend that lost her daughter last year, right before her senior year. She died in a car accident. And so I recently was able to talk to her, and she said that that's one of the biggest things that has helped their family. I mean, it's still really hard, you know, even a year later. Now it's even actually, they're going through a deeper level of it, because now her daughter would have graduated, so they're seeing all her friends graduate and their plans for their future. And but they said that they have a support group of people that have lost children, and not only have just lost children, but in that exact age range. And they said that that's very helpful. To be able to look out for each other is huge.
All right.
That's excellent. It's been really helpful to go through this peace meeting with all of you. Since it was so short, I got a lot more out of it talking with you guys. Thanks so much for your contributions. That was awesome. I think that's all the questions, right?
Just the additional resources. Anybody got anything for
Sorry about it.
I didn't have any.
Anger management, grief counseling, PTSD counseling. It's all stuff you guys have talked about already.
Okay.
It's good to mention those when she has something to write. But yeah, absolutely. And then the group. And probably just playing together, trying to find something happy to play together and laugh together.
Okay. One thing I found when I was looking up information about the city that is in Israel that's known as the bomb shelter capital of the world. That's the one it's just outside of Gaza that gets repeated rocket attacks. They've got bomb shelters all over the place for one, but also in the parks where the kids play, they've got all these cement structures. They got a cement snake where the kids can go inside the snake and go through the snake, that kind of thing. But it also serves as a shelter in case they're attacked. I just thought it was interesting that what the Israelis had come up with, and they also within that same city they've got a playground that's enclosed in a structure that's been reinforced so that attacks would, if there was an attack, it would keep the kids safe. And I was thinking that that the same kind of thing would be somewhat possible in Gaza, except for the fact that there'd be two problems with that. The one would be if they were able to build structures like that, the Israelis might target them with because they could be used by Hamas, and they would the Israelis got considerably more firepower than the Palestinian terrorists do, and so they could use bunker busters and that kind of thing and blow up the reinforced structures. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just talking away here. I guess I got anything else.
That's good. Does anyone have anything else?
I'm out. That's it for me. I don't have anything else. But it's been really awesome doing this class with all of you. It's been a really good class. Can I ask one question? What's been your favorite class in your degree so far?
I just started back this semester, so this one would be it.
How about you, Diane? Do you have any business classes you'd recommend?
My favorite classes were the religion classes. I got the most out of those, out of all the classes that I've taken. I started with nothing. I started in Pathway, and 5 years later, now I'm getting my bachelor's. So.
Oh, that's really impressive. That's amazing. Great job.
Yeah.
Great. That was great. Yeah, I went back, did Pathway as well, and I've got a couple more classes to wrap up my university studies degree. I enjoyed a business class that I took, and just an intro to business class. I've enjoyed the religion classes. I've enjoyed sociology, but that's what my minor's in.
Okay, thank you. That's awesome.
What about you, Sylvia?
Oh, I think this class is probably my favorite. This and the religion classes, I did enjoy those. I'm taking a parenting class now, so I do like that one. It seems I like that the classes are very applicable, but definitely this one has been, I think I've learned the most about coping, and the book Panic Attacks, I downloaded on Audible, and we've been reading it and listening to it when we drive, and it's been really amazing. It's quite an awesome book. So I'd say probably the book has been most helpful, but it's really good to be aware of all these models. Sometimes I'm confused, but that's all right. Anyway, Robert, you said you're almost done. How many classes do you have?
I've got a couple more classes I got to take.
Yeah. Congratulations. How about you, Diane? How
Exciting.
many classes do you have?
I am finished in 2 weeks. I walk.
Oh, hurrah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, hopefully, I'm in my, oh my gosh, I'm a web design minor, and the class I'm in, CIT 336, is killing me. The final is impossible. I don't know.
Wow.
I have to pass it. Pray for me. Hard.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow. Well, good luck with all your paths. That's awesome.
thanks.
And, good luck. That's really cool. And Anissa, you just started, so you have a few more years.
Yeah, I just put my graduation plan together. I have 2 years. I did get my associate's degree when I was younger. So I'm pretty much done with generals. And after this semester, I only had to take one religion class. So I'm pretty much just all about my major now. So I have 2 years. So I'm excited.
That's
Okay.
nice. I have about the same, about a year and a half.
Yeah. And
Yep.
are you American Family Studies major?
Yes.
Awesome. Cool.
We might see you around.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see you in more classes. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, so I'll just take Jerry's name off, I guess, and then Sylvia, I think we need to let the our instructor know.
Yeah. I'll send her an email.
Send the email. Okay. And then I will, I'm just going to do very brief editing right now and then send this out to all of you. Was it you, Sylvia, who did the FAR? You
Yeah.
mentioned the FAR?
Yeah.
Okay. That one I didn't get much detail on. So if we want to include that one, you know, I would type up that more detailed of how it relates and how we could offer help using that model.
If it doesn't, if we need it, I mean, I don't know that I seem like we had a lot of different options, but I'll definitely write something up. We need more stuff to say. Do we need it?
Okay. We can put it in there. Yeah, I think it's a great one if you see it applicable. So, but yeah, you would just need to type that in there. So, and then do all of you use Google Docs?
Yes.
Yes, Diane? Did
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Oh no, that's fine. So I will send this on all of your emails. Your guys' emails are all in that, are all in the discussion board, correct?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
I put mine, yeah, I would
Okay.
have put mine in there, or you wouldn't have had the.
Anissa, I don't, you can take the FAR method out. I don't have a ton of time to put into describing, but I can, I guess. But do we need the extra paragraph on it? Is what I'm wondering. Like,
I think it'd be good to include it if you did analyze it.
okay, I'll analyze it and send it over.
Okay, yeah, well, and you can just add it, directly on here. I'm gonna send this out to you guys now, and then if you guys can all just take the time Now who's going to submit the paper?
I don't know. I guess I can, because I have to add the FAR method, so I can do that.
Okay.
However,
Okay, yeah, so as long as everyone just has a chance to edit and do that, is, you know, just like, let's make sure and communicate to know that everyone has seen it and added to it, so.
Okay, when would be a good time? Do you want to, by like Saturday morning, do you guys think you could look at it and add, or should we do it Friday night? What does your schedule look like? Want to do Saturday night?
I'm not going to work on it anymore after today. I'll be able to do my
part
today.
That's yeah. I don't have any time other than today.
Okay.
okay, I'll put it
Okay.
in as well.
Everybody have a chance today to look at it and edit?
Yes, I think so. All right.
Yes, okay,
Okay, so by tomorrow,
okay,
I'll finish up my part and then submit it.
okay, so yeah, everyone wants to look at it, and I'm not gonna do detailed edits of like how things flow, so if someone, you know, looks at it and wants to change wording or how it flows better, that would be really helpful.
Sounds great.
Awesome, okay, I'll send this out soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you.
All right, bye-bye.